So let me ask you something. If you woke up tomorrow, standing in the Mojave Wasteland, no Pip-Boy, no save files, and the first town you see is Sloan, could you survive? Because on paper, Sloan looks quiet. No raiders at the gate, no gunfire in the streets. But survival isn't about what's obvious. It's about what wears you down. Let's jump into it. Look, the first thing that's going to try and kill you in Sloan is the heat. It's the middle of the Mojave Desert. That's dry heat, and there's no shade. Temperatures regularly reach over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, sometimes even pushing 110. That kind of heat doesn't just make you uncomfortable. It dehydrates you fast, drains your energy, and turns basic labor into a punishment. If you miss even a single day of water, you're already in trouble. Now, the terrain itself honestly isn't the worst. Sloan isn't full of cliffs or traps or anything like that. It's rocky, it's dusty, it's uneven, but it is manageable. Most people could move around just fine. The problem isn't where you're walking, it's what's walking nearby. Sandstorms can roll in without warning, visibility drops to almost nothing, and remember, this is post-nuclear fallout. The radiation is far and wide. Every breath, every drink, and even every meal. It all adds up. Radiation is absolutely the silent killer of the wasteland. Food in Sloan is pretty scarce. Foraging won't get you far. You'll find cactus and some jalapeno plants on the outskirts around town, but is it enough to survive? Not really. There is wildlife though, like bark scorpions located near the hidden bunker, but good luck isolating one without getting swarmed. Now technically, there is another food source, death claws. Yes, those death claws. They're edible, and the mother lays eggs. In fact, Jazz, who runs the mess hall,
I've got this recipe for a death claw omelet that I've been itching to try out. Trouble is, I need a death claw egg. Kinda obvious, I suppose. My great aunt Rose ran a bed and breakfast back in California, in a town called Modoc. She's the one who created the recipe in the first place. I don't know how she managed to get a hold of a female deathclaw, but she kept it in a shed. Aunt Rose had a steady supply of eggs for her omelets. At least, she did until some stranger came along and killed the deathclaw, shot it right in the eye.
Maybe you could too, but realistically, that's not a food plan. That's more of a death wish, and in my opinion, your safest option is buying meals from Jazz. She does serve gecko steak, iguana on a stick, squirrel stew, things of that nature. Very wastelander. But that leads us to the real issue.
Water would be nice.
There is no clean water in Sloan. The quarry ponds are irradiated. One of them literally has a Fat Man launcher sitting in it, which tells you everything you need to know about sanitation. Your only reliable water source is buying drinks from the mess hall, and that means caps, or NCR dollars, which I will note are half the value of caps, so every sip costs you. Shelter options are bleak. Workers sleep in the barracks, but if you're not a quarry worker, that door probably isn't open for you. Across from town though, there is an abandoned rail car, but it's cramped and rusted. At least it's covered though. North of Sloan, there are a few makeshift shacks, barely any protection for the heat, but better than sleeping out in the open. One of them belongs to Neil, a super mutant who warns travelers not to head toward Black Mountain. And honestly, if a super mutant comes up and tells you not to go do something, you're probably going to listen. Human enemies in Sloan are minimal. As long as you stay on good terms with the workers slaving away, gathering materials for the NCR, but that doesn't mean there isn't any risk. Chomps Lewis deals with members of the Great Khans, and some of them are known to be pretty shady. Also, the Powder Gangers operate nearby, and you can even find their camps within sight of town. There's a dead Bright follower under the bridge south of Sloan, with no indication as to what happened. Nobody claims responsibility, but the Wasteland usually has a way of answering those questions eventually. This is where Sloan becomes a nightmare. Rat scorpions exist. They're dangerous, but pretty manageable. If you venture too close to the quarry, that belongs to the death claws. Not one or two either, an entire family. The young death claws are small, fast, and deadly. The adult death claws, they're strong enough to rip you apart. And then there's the alpha male, larger, tougher, and meaner than any of the adult death claws. And lastly, there's the mother. She is massive, surrounded by her youngest, more dangerous than anything else in the area. You don't deal with death claws, you pretty much avoid them, or you die. There's no obvious outbreak in Sloan, but this is still the wasteland. Radiation sickness, infections, and the lingering reminder that super mutants exist because of the FEV virus. You probably won't encounter it directly, but the risk is never zero. Sloan is not sustainable. No crops, no water system. There's not even real defenses. It's a temporary job site built by the NCR to extract materials. There's tin buildings, wooden fencing, and pretty much nothing meant to last. Once the quarry dries up, so does Sloan. Socially, Sloan is simple. Quarry workers, jazz at the mess hall, everyone just trying to survive. They're mostly from California, paid in NCR dollars, working hard or very little. Jazz dreams of earning enough just to reach the strip. Everyone else, it seems like they're just passing time. No one here is thriving, they're just enduring. Technically, yes, you can build a life here. You can work, you can get a place to sleep. You'll survive, at least for now. But you'll be working brutal labor in extreme heat, drinking irradiated water, paying for food in a currency worth half as much as the wasteland currency. And on top of that, you're living next to death claws. And when the quarry runs dry, you move on, or you don't. That's the reality. You're surviving, but at what cost? Sloan doesn't kill you quickly. It just takes everything from you until there's nothing left. And honestly, the happiest thing in town is a mole rat named Snuffles. And that tells you everything. Thanks for watching the video, and if you did enjoy it, please consider subscribing, liking, and maybe even leaving a comment, as it really does help out the channel. I've already got more great videos planned, so if you want, leave some suggestions down below, and I'll take a look at it and see what we can work with. But other than that, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.